Well, I always enjoy talking about mental health because I know it's so important in our community to do that. So I'm very happy to have Trent Finley, Director of Diversity and Equity and Inclusion at Metro United Way, and Damon Cobble and Dr. Trinidad Jackson here to talk about mental health and minority groups and what we're facing in our community. It is kind of like the 1,000-pound elephant off our shoulders to finally be able to talk about mental health and our struggles and what we're facing, because you are not alone if you feel like it is hard to take one step further in life sometimes. What do you want folks to know about today?
Sure. So at Metro United Way, of course, we support having a stronger community and just enriching lives of everyone in our community. We are proud to support Minority Mental Health Awareness Month through our partnership with esteemed partners like the Minority Mental Health Project, who are members of our inaugural cohort of our Black Love philanthropic partnership. That LOVE is an acronym that stands for Live, Own, Vote, and Excel. And so we partner with organizations that are Black-led social change organizations. So we're very proud to support organizations like the Minority Mental Health Project during this month, and we realize that that's important. So.
And Damon, what is the work that you all do, and what do you want folks to know today?
Yeah, well, to acknowledge, the Minority Mental Health Awareness Month started in 2005 by an author named B.B. Moore Campbell to highlight bring awareness to the challenges that mental health is having on racial and ethnic minorities. And that's what we're doing as an organization. We're going to continue to carry that torch to address the gaps in the research to make sure that our community, minority community, are receiving the services that they deserve.
And why is talking about this? I know it's like the obvious question, but why is talking about this just so important? We have a month dedicated to it, but it needs to be, 12 months out of the year that we talk about it.
Mm-hmm. So we know that it's important to our overall mission at Metro United Way is healthy lives, and that's a huge part. We also want to destigmatize the negativity that comes with the conversation about mental health, particularly among the Black community. So we know how important that is, and happy to partner with people like Damon and like Dr. Trinidad.
And the issues, roadblocks that people in the community face, what are some of those things?
So my response, it'll include that in the context, but you opened up by saying, right, this is a month dedicated to minority mental health awareness, but it needs to be a year-long conversation. And so for that to happen, we have to understand history. We have to understand the context of systems, right? And so within the mental health system, historically, what has happened is people have been identified and locked away if they were deemed, right, mentally incompetent in some way. And so it's critical that as we focus on minoritized people, that because Damon and I, we go back and forth and we're about to make an organizational decision of not using the word minority, but understanding that we have been minoritized,
Gotcha.
Right? We have been racialized. That is something that has been done purposefully in the context of establishing whiteness. And so for us, it's critical to understand legislation that is happening. When we look at anti-critical race theory legislation, that's saying we will no longer understand how to inform race-conscious decisions that then inform organizations that are established to address equity. When we look at court rulings such as anti-affirmative action or affirmative action bans, that's saying that people with lived experiences with unique ways that they navigate structural oppression, we won't be there to serve populations who are still experiencing that structural oppression, right? So a lot of what is happening in the political aspects of our landscape is directly impacting the ability for us to do this work, but also the pipeline of infrastructure that is needed to continue to work towards equity goals.
So access to mental health care. How do we get people the care that they need?
Well, through Minority Mental Health Project, they can go to our website, www.mmhplou.com. We have established a centralized database of minority clinicians in the psychology workforce. So if there are minorities in the community seeking out someone that looks like them, they can go to our website.
And how important is that when you need to speak to someone that they look like you? Maybe they came from the same background as you, maybe the same faith as you. Being able to relate to somebody, why is that so important?
Well, I think it's important for many reasons. First of all, representation matters. An individual like me, a black male licensed clinician, only make up 1.1% of the psychology workforce on the master level. So I understand, you know, it's a comfort level. It's an understanding, it's a joining the family, it's understanding the family rituals and norms, and understanding the family dynamics, and understanding that person has the intersectionalities of their existence that entails a lot of parts and that needs to be understood. That's why representation matters, because we understand each other and we can help remove that barrier.
Absolutely.
And additionally, the empirical evidence is there. Right? When that happens, people's lives are saved,
Absolutely.
like point blank. So.
And that we have to be there to support one another and understand one another and be compassionate to one another. Where can folks go if they're watching this and they feel like, okay, I need to reach out to somebody and talk to someone? Where can they go?
Well, they can definitely go to our website, and I believe the state, and there's some other resources in the community. And there's resources on our website, but you have Minority Mental Health Project, and there's other minority organizations in the community that are readily available. And that's another one of our tasks, is to highlight that there are organizations out here that's ran by minorities that's available to treat you.
All right. Thank you for the work that you do, all of you.
Thank you so much.
All right,
Thanks
we'll
for
be
the
right back.
time.
The news